It's interesting, isn't it, though, how valuable is that data in comparison to the other costs that are required to build the building, right? So I once had some archive drawings that were available, but I needed to purchase them from the original building designer. And they cost to get the full set of that drawings. Obviously, I didn't know exactly how much I need. I just needed as much as I could get on that building. And if I was to purchase that from the archive, this is not a very complex set of data. It's just the original drawings, but that ended up being more than my fee because my fee was just to extend it by one story. So then it ended up not being worth it, right? So I definitely think it's not, there's a spectrum of you having to pay for it and it being free. There's got to be like a reasonable point where, okay, you don't want to lose things that you've worked hard on and not be able to make money off them. But what is the end goal here?
The Building Safety Act and that golden thread of information will change that. However, by the time we're renovating buildings that have gone through this process, that's going to be minimum 30 years away. So I don't really want to wait 30 years for that information to be freely available, because within the Building Safety Act in its current form, there is I'm probably going to get the terminology wrong, but there's a building safety case, and there is I believe a nominated party who needs to look after that. And during the construction and commission of the building, when the building's finished, there's a nominated person who holds that information. So if we look at uncontrolled information, which would be what happened if we sent our drawings to another party, are we held responsible for that? And if not, then what are those drawings worth?
It's a whole topic, but there's the difference between engineering information and fabricated information, which is the most useful when you're refurbishing something. It's actually what got built, right? And then is there anything that really verifies what's actually on site compared to what was intended to be on site? So there's all of that.
We have as-built drawings in the industry for things that have been built. I don't think I've ever seen an as-built drawing that actually reflects what is on site.
I've been told to not put as-built on any drawing. In the future then, that there's, in terms of information sharing, there'd be ways to model groups of buildings, for example, a whole street of buildings rather than just the one that you designed. I think you can get city models and systems models and things like that.
Absolutely. I think in some aspects we're already there. There are quite a few, again, we're talking about different data platforms, but there are quite a few out there which take in consultants or developers' models of buildings, usually low detail, so just massing, which would just be the skin of the building, if you like. And let's say you want to see what views you're going to get from a proposed building along the River Thames in a certain location, let's say Blackfriars, and you want to see what the proposed developments are going to look like in 5 years' time. Well, other developers might have bought onto that platform and have put their proposals. Now, not all of those might get built. That's the nature of the game, but you can see what might be there in 5 years' time. And so you can see if your building is viable in that situation in its current configuration. I think it's the start of that process of us building up a digital twin of our world, if you like, at least from a geometric side. I was fascinated by that when it first got released on Google Maps. I spent sounds quite sad, I spent a lot of time scrolling around Google Maps on Street View and then zooming out again, thinking I was on a plane. Anyway.
It is really useful though, especially if you're going for a site visit and you have no idea what to expect. You can learn a lot by where the building's situated. Are there drain covers in the road? What's the roof made out of? It is really, really useful.
On the flip side of that, that's a different model that an unpaid data source would use, like Google Maps. It's that old adage, if you're not paying for something, you're the product.